So, something that comes mizman lezman on occasion, and it's not regular, it's not, it's unusual. It has a special chavivus. It has a special appeal, as we see from the Broch of Shechionu. So, therefore, this week I think we won't talk about the Parshas Hashavua, but about the Haftorah, which is unusual. What do I mean unusual? Because b'derech klal, in general, the Haftarah is me'inyan ha-parsha that we read in the Torah. The Abudraham in the Seder Shachris Shel Shabbos brings that the minig to be maftir the Haftarah from Sifrei Nevi'im began at a time when there was a decree of the Malchus that banned Yidden from Kriyas HaTorah. And therefore they would read the Nevi'im me'inyan HaParsha. And even after the Gzeira became bottled, the minig remained to be maftir from the Sifrei Nevi'im. The Levush is marach about this in Siman, in Arachaim, Siman Reish Pei Daled. It's interesting that in spite of the fact that the Abudraham doesn't tell us when this Gezeira was, in the Sefer HaTishbi, the Sefer HaTishbi is from Rebbe Eliyahu Tishbi Bochur, who died in Italy in the middle of the 1500s, and it's quoted in the Tosfos Yontiv Megillah, Perek Gimel Mishnah Dalet. He says that this was a Gzeira of Antiochus, Melech Yava. So the whole Indian of the Haftarah is shaykh to this month when we are going to celebrate our victory over the Malchus Yovan. In any case, in general, the Haftarahs are me'inyan ha-parsha. Like the regular Haftarah of Parshas Toldos, which is from Sefer Malachi. Haloi ach Esav liYaakov v'oyav es Yaakov es Esav sonesi, which is me'inyan ha-parsha. But there are exceptions. There are Shabbos when the Haftarah is not me'inyan ha-parsha, but it's me'inyan de-yoymen. Like Shabbos Chanukah, sometimes two Shabbos of Chanukah, that we don't do the Haftarah of the Parsha, but we do Haftarah be'inyan the Neiros HaMikdash. Shabbos Rosh Chodesh, we do the Haftarah of Avshamayim Kissi, in which it says, V'hoyom idei Chodesh b'chodshoy, is Yavai kol basar l'shtachavos l'fnei Hashem. Also on the Shabbos of Erev Rosh Chodesh, like this Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh is going to be on Sunday and Monday, there's a special Haftarah, which is not me'inyan ha-parsha, the Haftarah of Machar Chodesh and Sefer Shmuel. But the fact that we do this Haftarah on the Shabbos of Erev Rosh Chodesh has a Chiddush al gabe Chiddush. First of all, the topic of the Haftarah is not Erev Rosh Chodesh, it's Rosh Chodesh. I mean, the Haftarah discusses the Suda that Shaul HaMelech would make every Rosh Chodesh, and what evolved around the Suda on that fateful Rosh Chodesh. It's only the first pasuk that says, "Vayomer lo yoinosan machar chodesh v'nifkadeto ki yipoked moshavecha." But beyond that, be'ikar we need to understand Bishla Mechanike, Rosh Chodesh, other days in which we do Haftarah of Inyana di Yomer. Those are Yomes that have an Inyana. In other words, those are special days. But Erev Rosh Chodesh is not a day that has any meaning or significance. It's just Erev Rosh Chodesh. So what's Inyana D'Yoyma about it? And even more, Rosh Chodesh and Chanukah, and the other times that we have Haftarahs Inyana D'Yoyma, we take out two Sifrei Torah and we read in the Torah me Inyan Hayoim in the second Sefer Torah. Besides for the Kriyas Parshas Hashavua, we do a Kriya in the Torah, a Kriya of Chanukah, a Kriya of Rosh Chodesh, and behemshich to that comes the Haftarah. But Erev Rosh Chodesh, there is no Kriya b'Torah that the Haftarah attaches to. So the is the Meiri in Megillah Daf Chof Tes. where it's talking over there about the Dalit Parshias, Shkolim, Zohar, Porah, and Achoidish that have a special Haftarah, and they also have a special Kriya. And it says in the Mishnah, B'chamishis, when the fifth Shabbos comes about, Choizrin L'Kesidron. So the Meiri writes Bezalosh in Pirish L'Seder Haftarahs, that from there on we learn the Haftarahs Me'inyan HaParsha. V'hu, שבאויסון שבוסויס של ארבע פרשיות מניחים הפטרה של סדר היום ומפטירים בהפטרה של פרשיות. מפני שבהפטרה הולכים אחר קריאת ספר האחרון. The reason that Parshas Zohar, we have haftarah be'inyan in Parshas Zohar is because we have a kriya of Zohar in the Sefer Torah, and so also a chodesh, etc. V'hu inyan the salik minei. That's where we're coming from. The ein yotzin michlal zeh. There's no exception to this rule that the haftarah is always connected with the last kriya that we were learning in the Torah. There's no exception to this rule. Ela b'machar chodesh. The only exception is machar chodesh. Shemaftirim ba af al pi shaloi karu ba ela b'seder hayom. Mitam hachroze. So he says that the haftarah of machar chodesh is b'chal a different thing. It's a hachroze. It's an announcement that Rosh Chodesh is coming. It's not haftarah min yonah diyoma like the other haftarahs min yonah diyoma that we have. It's not Me'inyan HaParsha, and it's not Minyan of the Yoma. It's just an announcement. It's not so clear, why there's a need for this announcement. When Rosh Chodesh is in the middle of the week, we rely on the announcement that we make in Birchas Rosh Chodesh. And so why, when it's on Sunday, do we need to make an announcement through the Haftarah? But this is what the Meiri says. In the Rosh Megillah, we see that he disagrees with this. The Rosh says over there, he's discussing that if in the time of the Gemara, they read a Kriyas HaTorah on Shmini Atzeres for Shmini Atzeres, the Parsha in the Torah of Shmini Atzeres, or they just learned V'zois HaBracha. And he says that it's possible that they only learned V'zois HaBracha. The Gemara says that they were maftir bevayamoid shloima. The haftarah of vayamoid shloima is connected with the fact that the melech was mavorech es ha'om on the Achron Shel Chag. So it's l'chorah not connected with the kriya of Shmini Atzeres, with the kriya, of V'zois HaBracha. So he says, Kivin sha'haftarah medaberes be'inyan Shmini Atzeres, Yesh la'oimra afal pisha eino me'inyan ha'parsha shekora b'Torah. Ki damrina b'samuch, the Rosh Chodesh chali is be'echad b'Shabbos maftir me'esmo mocher chodesh. Afal pisha eino me'inyan ha'parsha shekora. Kivin shu me'ena ma'oira she'iyeh mocher chodesh. So he says, he brings a raya from the Haftarah of mocher chodesh that there is a concept of Haftarah me'inyan diyoma, even when there's no kriya minyan diyoma, and therefore you can't prove from the Haftarah of Vayamid Shloima that in the Zman HaShas they would read in the Torah about Shmini Atzeres, because it could be that they didn't, and we nevertheless had the Haftarah of Vayamid Shloima, just like we have the Haftarah of Mocher Chodesh, in spite of the fact that there's no kriya, because it's a kriya me'ein hama'ora u'me'inyan diyoma. So he is saying that the kriya of the haftarah of Machar Chodesh is mi'inyane de yoyma. There's a third opinion in the Orchos Chaim of Reb Aaron HaKohen Milunil, that was in the 1300s. In Hilchos Kriyas HaTorah, Siman Samach, he says like this: V'Rosh Chodesh Shechali is be'echad b'Shabbos, maftir b'Shmuel Machar Chodesh. V'hatam k'moyas koras Rosh Chodesh. Okay, so this is going with the Mahalach of the Meiri. But now he brings V'yesh Cholkim b'zeh haminig. Shelo oilam ein maftirin ela b'may desalik minei oy be'inyana deyom. V'zois eino achas me'eino. The fact that tomorrow is going to be Rosh Chodesh doesn't make Erev Rosh Chodesh have an inyana deyom of Machar Chodesh. And the Haftarah is not the Inyan the Salik Minei. It's not from the Parsha that we just read, and it's not Minyan the Yoma. So what is it? Lakach loy no'agul haftar Machar Chodesh. Ayitz Mefurish Gemara. So he says, Elo b'hiyois Rish Chodesh b'Shabbos ve'echad b'Shabbos. They only said the haftarah of Machar Chodesh when Rish Chodesh was on Shabbos and echad b'Shabbos. Yeah, so the pshat is that the Oz who mean Yonah the Yoima, because the haftarah is about Rish Chodesh. The haftarah of Machar Chodesh is really about the Sudas Rish Chodesh of Shaul HaMelech. So it's minyan the yom. Umaskirim gam ken shalamacha yirish chodesh k'mei hayon. So Mamela, we instead of doing Hashemayim Kissi, we do Machar Chodesh because it already also has this thing that it tells us that tomorrow is going to be Rish Chodesh k'mei hayon. V'chein nohagu gedolei tzorfas. The gedolei tzorfas only did the haftarah of Machar Chodesh when it was a Shabbos Rish Chodesh and a Sunday Rish Chodesh. So you see, the first opinion is like the Meiri, that it's like a hachroza, it's an announcement. The second opinion holds that it's not a hachroza, and they also don't hold like the Rosh, that it's considered in Yonah de Yoime, and therefore they hold that only when it falls out on Shabbos and Sunday, then you do the haftarah of Machar Chodesh. So really, the thing that's kind of hard to understand is the opinion of the Rosh, that the haftarah of Machar Chodesh is a haftarah in Yonah de Yoime. I mean, it's Einoin Movin. I mean, Erev Rish Chodesh is a day like all other days. It doesn't have, there's nothing inherent in Erev Rish Chodesh. It doesn't have any significance. So how could we say that the Haftarah is in Yonah de Yoima? So it would seem like the Rosh holds that Erev Rish Chodesh is, a day with a special significance. And that needs to be explained. So the story that's being told in this haftarah is that David heard rumors that Shaul HaMelech is out to kill him, and Yonasan made up with David that he'll find out, he'll check out the whole thing, and if he needs to fear or he doesn't need to fear for his life, and he developed a plan how he's going to notify him. So this conversation between Yonasan and David takes place on Erev Rosh Chodesh. That's why it says, "Vayomer lo Yonasan Machar Chodesh v'nifkadeta ki poked moshavecha," meaning that David would always be invited on Rosh Chodesh to participate in the Suda that Shaul made, and when he won't appear, so Yonasan will be able to gauge Shaul's reaction and figure out if David is in trouble or he's not in trouble. And then he makes up with him a sign, a signal. How is he going to notify him? So David is going to sit Eitzel ha'even ha'ezel, which is a particular stone, the marker stone, let's say. And he says, Vani shloishes hachitzim tzido oire l'shalach li l'matora. I'll shoot 3 arrows in that direction, as if I was shooting at a target. And he says, V'hine, eshlach es hanar, leich mitzah es hachitzim. Im omor oimar lanar, hine hachitzim mimcha v'heina, kochenu uvoya ki sholom lecha v'ein dover, chai Hashem. In other words, I'll send the lad telling him, go find the arrows. And if I say to him that the arrows are on the side of you, then you yourself, he's saying to David, may take the arrows and return. For all is well with you, and there's no concern, as Hashem lives, But if I will say to the boy, the arrows are beyond you, then go. In other words, this is a signal that Shilachecha Hashem, that Hashem sent you. So, there's a story when the Telzer Yeshiva Rebbe Meir Bloch escaped Europe in the beginning of the Second World War, and he arrived in the United States. He assembled a group of Balabatim and discussed with them the fact that he wants to establish a yeshiva in the United States. And at that assembly, he asked, if the chitzim would be mimenu mimchava holo, so that's a signal that his life is in danger. So Yonason should say that if the chitzim will be mimchava holo, brach, because you're in trouble. Run, escape. Why is he saying lech kishilachecha Hashem? Go because Hashem sent you. So he said because a Yid believes that even when he's escaping danger, that's not the whole story. But there's a mission over here. There's a divine mission that he needs to fulfill where he is going to arrive. And he said, and therefore true that I escaped Europe because my life was in danger, but I understand that it's not just an escape. It's lech kishilachecha Hashem. I have a mission over here, and this is my mission. You know, a similar idea it was said by Reb Mordechai Pogermansky, you know, and it also was said in the context of a Ma'aser Shehoya. They say that, you know, right after the Second World War in 1945, Reb Mordechai Pogermansky was Isaac in being mal children that b'meshech the war were born, and there was nobody to do a bris milah for them, and he would travel to towns wherever he heard that there were children that needed a milah. So one day he was on the way to a town in the Kovne Guberna, you know what that means, in the area of Kovna, in the surroundings of Kovna. And he was on a train with Reb Isaac Osban. And in the middle of on the train, they were talking and learning, and they somehow missed the station where they were supposed to get off. And they got off in the wrong station. So Reb Isaac said to Reb Mordechai, you know, wir haben verblonget, we strayed, we're lost. So Reb Mordechai said to him, a Yid verblonget keimonish, a Yid never gets lost, a Yid doesn't stray. And he continued and he said, you know, there's a pasuk in Parshas Vayera, Vayashkem Avrom baboiker, Vayikach lechem v'cheim asmayim, Vayitein el Hogor, Som al shechma, Vayishalcheho, Vatelech Vatesa b'midbar be'er Sheva. So Vatesa, this means she strayed. She got lost. But Rashi says Vatelech Vatesa chozro legilule beis avia. So Rashi is the Pshuta Shomikra. Why did Rashi say? Why wasn't he mefarish the pasuk of Pshuta? Why is he saying chozro legilule beis avia? Said the Reb Mordechai, because somebody that believes in the Rebbeinu Shalom is never vatesa. He knows that wherever he is, he ought to be there, he needs to be there, and that's where he belongs. So Reb Isaac said to him, you know, it's a nice word, but we're lost. So, but right then and there, they heard somebody yelling, Hey Rabbina, Hey Rabbina. You know, do you know of any moil? And it turns out that he had a child that needed a bris, and he was looking for a moil. So Reb Mordechai said, you see, Ayid fablonjit keimonish. I mean, we were meant to be here, and that's why we got here. So, you know, the pasuk, the idea is that even when a Yid is escaping, he believes that it's a leich kishilachecha Hashem, and even when he's toya baderech, he knows that there's a reason for him getting to where he got. The opening pasuk of the Haftarah says, "Vayomer lo yonosan Machar Chodesh v'nefkadeto ki poked moishavecha." So v'nefkadeto means that he will be remembered, like Yizocher v'yipoked. Yipoked moishavecha means that he'll be missing. So Avada, there's a reason that the Torah, the Navi uses, I mean, Yonason used the same word. V'nefkadeto ki yipoked moishavecha. The same word is being used for a davar v'hipuchai. It's being used for the for the not being, for the missing, and for the being remembered, for being remembered. So, and that's really also true about the Machar Chodesh. I mean, the Moiled Halavana, the birth of the Lavana, of the new moon. It comes from and through the total missing, so to speak, the total concealment of the Lavana. And this is shaykh in particular to the Malchus of David. As we say in Kiddush Levana, we say David Melech Yisrael Chai V'Kayim. Why do we say in Kiddush Levana David Melech Yisrael Chai V'Kayim? The sources in Rosh Hashanah Daf Chafei, where it says Amalei Rebbe LeRebchia. Rebbe said to Rebchia, Zil le'ein tav, go to the place called Ein Tav, v'katshe le'yarchem, be mekadesh le'chodesh, v'shlach li simna, as soon as the chodesh was mekudesh, send me a sign, David Melech Yisrael Chai V'Kayim. That's the message that Rosh Chodesh was declared. So Rashi says, David Melech Yisrael nimshul kalavona, shenemar boy, the pasuk says in Tilim Peites, ki yoreach yikoin oilam. So the Chodesh is shaykh to David's Malchus. All Yidden are also shaykh to this, as we say about the Levana, that it's a teres, tiferes, la'amusei boten, sheheim asidim lehischadesh kemoisa, which means that the moon is a crown of glory for those burdened from birth, which is a reference to the Jewish people as it appears in the pasuk, Amusei Beten. So it's a crown of glory for Yidden, who likewise are destined to renew themselves. So the Chodesh tells us about the David Melech Yisrael Chai V'Kayim, and it tells us about every Yid being Chai V'Kayim in a sense. So Yonason says to David, Machar Chodesh, tomorrow is the new moon, which means today it's totally concealed. It's absolute darkness. But there's no reason to panic, because through the Poked Moishavecha, Dafke through your missing, so to speak, your not being, will come about the Vinifkadita. You will be remembered. Dafke sometimes through the Erev Yolim Bechi comes about the Velaboiker Rina. The pshat is like this, that not only when we are in a place that we wouldn't want to be, we believe that we're meant to be there, and it's part of our divine mission, Leich Yishilach Hashem, but also when we feel totally absent. We know the secret of V'nifkadeta ki yipoked moishavecha, the secret of Machar Chodesh, Moiled Halavana, that only comes through its total disappearance. And according to this, there is meaning and significance to the Erev of Rosh Chodesh, because on this day of Erev Rosh Chodesh, and through this day of Erev Rosh Chodesh, the Moiled Halavana is enabled. This is true in the Olam Gadol, in the macrocosm, and also in the microcosm, in the Olam Kotten. And it could be that that's why the Rosh holds that the Haftarah of Machar Chodesh is a Haftarah of Inyana Deyayme, of Erev Rosh Chodesh, because Erev Rosh Chodesh carries all this meaning of Machar Chodesh, V'nifkadeta ki yipoked moishavecha. Okay, having said that, I'll seize this opportunity to wish you all a good Shabbos. Yeah. Okay, Rabbi Saichizku, v'yametz levavchem.